Hi, this is Mike Diercks, Regional Home Missionary Coordinator for the Presbytery of Ohio. And today, Brad Peppo, also Regional Home Missionary here in Ohio in the Miami Valley. We're going to be talking about some of the early stage work of what's going on with several Bible studies that we're helping to encourage, as well as Brad is leading one, and just where they're at, what's the development look like. And then maybe we can touch a little bit on how things are going in Newcastle, Indiana at Redemption Life Bible Church. So good afternoon, Brad, and thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good to be here.
So let's just jump right in, and let's start with Chillicothe. It's the former capital of Ohio. So tell us what's happening in Chillicothe.
So I think, as we reported earlier, Chillicothe began with a single contact, a retired EPC minister who has been in Chillicothe for a couple of years. He's got 2 adult sons who are living there as well. And we've been in contact over the past several months. I think it's been about 2 months now that we've been meeting for a Bible study in Ephesians. There's one other family so far that's joined that. So it's this man and his wife and his 2 adult sons and this other family. And so we've been doing that study. More recently, in the past month, I was introduced to a pastors group that meets for breakfast every Thursday morning. And so I was introduced to that group by a member of our seed group. And it was really just a great experience. 10 to 12 guys each Thursday morning, of vast variety of church backgrounds. We've got some, I didn't even know the term 3CU, the Church of Christ Christian Union. Apparently Chillicothe is sort of a hub for that denomination. There were some Church of God in Cleveland, Tennessee guys, some Independent Baptists, and even one new church plant that is being started by a Westminster Seminary grad. So that was a really pleasant surprise getting to know those folks. But through them, I've been able to make significant additional contacts in the community over the last month. They've been very, very welcoming. As I've talked through with them the idea of a new church plant in town, and particularly a new Presbyterian and Reformed church plant, they've all been very enthusiastic and have encouraged me to pursue that, and have actually been helping even with the networking and that sort of thing. So we're planning on continuing the Ephesians study, and it's in the home of the retired EPC minister. We're planning on continuing that through the summer with a view toward moving more into a public study, a public discussion of Presbyterian and Reformed distinctives at the beginning of the school year. And so the seed group and I will be working on formulating what that will look like, where that will be. We've been following up some leads on a meeting location, and then also just the process of inviting people, advertising it, and that sort of thing. So that's what's been going on in Chillicothe. The study's still going strong, and I'm feeling like I'm really able to been able to make some significant relationship connections with folks in the community, and just getting to know the city and the feeling of the city a lot better.
Yeah, so let's stay there just for a second. Describe the city. I mean, because it's a different type of setting than a Columbus or a Dayton or some of the more metropolitans. What's Chillicothe, the city, like?
Yeah, so if you look on a map, especially if you look at one that has some kind of topography to it, you can see that Chillicothe is right on the edge of what we call the glaciated section of Ohio, which is rather flat, and then it's really where you begin into the foothills of the Appalachia. And it's not just a geographical designation. You really start encountering some of the more typical cultural aspects of Appalachia proper in Chillicothe. And part of the running joke around the table is if you really want to do something successful in Chillicothe, you have to have been born in Chillicothe. So they kind of joke with me and say, "Oh, you don't have any chance there." And I say, "Okay, I'm gonna find some local boy, hopefully, to bring in and do that." But industrial town, at least the most prominent as far as visually and olfactorily. I'm not sure if I just made that up. There's a paper mill, the Mead paper mill, and to me it always smells like someone boiling cabbage. But that's the most prominent feature. There's a Kenworth truck plant. So I would say more on the blue collar side, somewhere around 25,000 people in Chillicothe. I think about 75 to 80,000 in Ross County.
All right, thank you. So now let's move a little bit further south, cross the border, cross the river, and we're into Kentucky. So what's going on in Louisville? Tell the churches what's happening in Louisville.
So Louisville has been great from the standpoint of we've been able to, you and I have just been able to kind of sit back and watch it happen, give some direction, give some encouragement. But the Louisville effort started with a group that reached out of their own initiative through the denominational website, which the denominational committee then sent a contact to us. We followed up with that, had an initial Zoom meeting, and a recently empty nested couple who has some background and some experience with PCA, had been in a Baptist church. They would describe themselves, I think, primarily as a Ligonier ministry couple. That's their brand of Reformed and Presbyterian distinctives that they've been influenced by, are excited by, and want other people to be excited about as well. So after some initial discussions with them on Zoom, and then also pulling in, we have our Springfield church plant. There's a young man in seminary and his wife are there. They were pulled into the group. So it was those two families that we kind of started off with. And this man and his wife organized their own 6-part study of the Reformed distinctives. They've done a really, really great job with advertising, and they've been making really good use of a Facebook page, and even a better use of their personal network of relationships within the city. And so they did a bunch of advertising, sat down. I think they said they had 12, 13 different sit-down meals with different people that they knew from the city. And I believe now we've just finished the fourth of their 6 intended studies. And from the very beginning, and it sounds like all the way through to this point, they've had 10 to 12 adults each time, and 10 to 12 adults that have expressed an interest in pursuing a new church plant. Similarly, they were able to talk with the other NAPARC ministers in the city of Louisville and got the blessing of the rest of the churches there with moving forward. There's still some discussion because some of the people who are involved have a background in the ARP, but it looks like right now the majority is more strongly leaning toward the OP, but that would be one thing that they continue to work out through the course of the study. The plan then is for them to take something of a break over the summer. They'll still be meeting for fellowship. It'll just be less structured and less formal, like what they've been doing for the initial 6 weeks. And I think they'll also be thinking through what comes next at the beginning of the school year, what comes next in the fall, whether that be that kickoff with a longer term study or evening worship or something like that. It really will just depend on how many people they have committed. But it sounds right now like they've got the makings of a solid seed group just in the families that they have interested so far. Yeah,
I really appreciated sitting in, listening, and then taking the initiative. And you're right. This summer, they don't call it a break. The focus over the summer is on relational building and just the fellowship and the community, as it were. So that then in the fall they can have more serious discussions about where are we heading,
right?
What's this all about? So it's been fun to watch, encourage, and also have somebody that's really taken the lead, kind of the reins, as it were. They're
very self-motivated. This is a very self-initiated effort, and they've definitely been leaning on us for counsel and that sort of thing, but they've been doing the hard work on the ground there. So you've got an update for us on Newcastle.
Yeah, so Redemption Bible Life is, as folks hopefully remember, we talked about this, introduced Tyler several months ago. He's been received into the denomination, is now an installed minister of the Orthodox Presbyterian Church. And if anybody needs to be encouraged about being in the OPC, give Tyler a call. He is so excited about it. But we're now taking the overseeing session is taking the next step. We're going to be interviewing members on May 20th. So we're going to do a full day's worth. We're basically starting at 8 o'clock, going until about 4:30, 5 o'clock, interviewing the members and getting them to the next step in that commitment to become an organized church, and that is to establish a membership. And then from there, Lord willing, we'll start identifying a couple of the men to step in as officers. So really, it's exciting. The congregation's excited about us coming and sharing their stories. Probably the biggest challenge is we've allocated about 30 minutes per family. And when you hear the stories of God's grace, you want it to last longer.
Yeah.
But that's the update on Redemption Bible or Redemption Life Bible Church and their pilgrimage into the OPC. So it's a good time for them. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's been a real joy to watch.
Yeah. So as we wrap up, some prayer items. Obviously, pray for Chillicothe, especially as they take the next step of moving from the house into a community setting, but also give thanks for the support that you're getting from the ministerial environment down there, the encouragement that you're getting, and it's not a resistance to, but
no, not at all. Quite the opposite.
So we give thanks for that. And then for Louisville, we pray. The Humphreys are kind of the family that's leading this. So pray for the Humphreys as they wrap up this study. Pray for them as far as the relationship, community building over the summer. And then third on that one, just pray for direction as they make kind of that decision about where they're heading next. And then with Redemption Life, just give thanks. We're going to be interviewing about 15, 20 families, and it's just an exciting time in the life of that church. So give thanks for that. Did I miss anything in that list, Brad?
I don't think so. Those are three of the things going on right now. Lots of other stuff too, but that was good focus.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, and God bless, and we'll see you soon, I'm sure.
All right. Thanks again, Mike.
Yep.